I just cannot believe I'm selling this beautiful car for so cheap. If you asked me this morning if I'd sell a car like this for just $69, I'd smack you in the mouth and tell you to never let me see your face around my dealership again. But get this, my sales team told me this car has a pack of feral cats that live in it full time, and they will bite and scratch anyone who tries to remove them. So that means I gotta move this baby today. Or maybe that sedan ain't your style, and maybe you need something a bit bigger to fit your youngins in. Then you ought to love this van. It's got all the bells and whistles you want, and it's so much larger than that sedan. It's so much larger, in fact, that it has 4, count 'em, 4 families of feral cats living in it. And the craziest part of this whole thing, you know what's crazy? I'll tell you what's crazy. I'll sell you this van and the other car for $12. That's right. Only $50 cheaper than if you just buy the sedan. Do the math. So what are you waiting for? Bad credit? No credit? Can't spell credit? Who gives a heck? Come on in and drive off with both of these babies. Woo!
Check out now, check out now, check out now.
Live from a corporate office building somewhere in America, it's KPBC News with your lead anchor, Anchor Cat. Greetings, I'm Anchor Cat, and here's what we want you to know about. In our first story, the Fraternal Order of Clichés met recently for their annual retreat and announced when they returned that 3 new groups of people would now be eligible for admission into their union. Those groups are sad clowns, broke bassists, and alcoholic news anchors. I'd like to thank the wonderful team here at KPBC News for making sure the FOC finally recognized I belonged among them. Wait, what? Who the hell? In our next story, KPBC News is looking to hire a new member of our copywriting team who can be trusted not to fuck with my show scripts and to be extremely discreet about any alleged drinking problems anyone might allegedly have. This week on Polly Birdman Reports, I'm going to talk to a local man who won a hot dog eating contest by having his esophagus rerouted directly to his rectum. Was that legal? Some experts in the sport say yes, some say no, and I'll tell you who says what because, you know, that's my job, I guess. This Sunday at 3 a.m. In business news, Brew & Blow has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The startup coffee chain became famous for being the first of such shops to allow open carrying of firearms in their stores, which also sell cocaine. Viewers likely recall our Med Talk segment with Dr. Rose Quartz, who told us about the pros and cons of the new fad of mixing cocaine and coffee. According to company insiders, the decision to allow open carrying in their stores was likely a fatal one. While the store was raking in enormous profits, their insurance costs were skyrocketing because coked-up gun lovers kept holding impromptu Second Amendment demonstrations in Brew & Blow locations across the Bible Belt, resulting in over a dozen deaths and over 500 cousin lovers injured by gunfire. Those insurance premiums became too much for the company to withstand, totaling $1 billion a month, and it's likely they'll fold soon. Congresswoman Lauren Boebert called this development a, quote, sad commentary on the communism of free market capitalism that infected a truly wonderful patriotic company with a woke death, unquote. Boebert called on the House to do a full investigation into whether George Soros or Antifa made Brew & Blow make such a colossally stupid decision on purpose. Let's step aside now for a few commercials, and we'll be right back with more news. Ah, as they say in French, bonsoir, mes amis. Welcome to the hottest little bistro in town, Sur La Douche. If you love the a-hole, or El Culero, then you better love us, because if you don't, the next time you visit one of those places, we'll make sure someone spits in your burger or jizzes in your burrito. That's right, we're all owned by the same parent company, and we're encouraged to snitch on shitty customers to each other. So shut the fuck up and get into Sur La Douche and put one of our amusements in your boosh, bitch. Or we'll send our friend Billy over to your table to go wee-wee in your bubbly. And we don't give a fuck if you call it champagne or not, you fucking nerd. Ooh, I tell you what, Jack, I really love making pod brownies.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Because these things are the key to us winning the culture war and bringing America down from within.
In Lord Soros's name, amen.
All it takes is just one bite from one of these Mary Jane Wanna cookies, and whoever eats it will be immediately turned into a transgender Mexican communist fentanyl-dealing abortion doctor.
It's almost too simple.
That's why it's so good Limbaugh's dead and Tucker is off Fox News. They were the only ones smart enough to blow the lid off the whole thing.
Hail Satan! Praise Soros!
Hail Satan, praise Soros!
Hail Satan, praise Soros! Don't miss this week's episode of The Imaginary Democrat, only on LifeWatch TV.
This is Planet Earth. It's our home, our protector. We depend on it to provide us shelter, food, and everything else we need to survive and thrive. So aren't you glad that God created Earth and literally everything else in the known and unknown universe in just 6 days? I know I'm glad he did. That's why I'm a Christian and why I think you should be one too. And most importantly, why I support political candidates who think you should be forced to as well. So if you're like me and you're just so gosh darned grateful God created Earth in just 6 days, then join me at church this weekend.
Christianity, join us or suffer the
Oh, hi. It's me, the actual Jesus. The guy in the Bible, not from the tax-dodging, white nationalist megachurch up the street. If you believe what that douchebag back there said about God, my dad, creating Earth and literally everything else in less than a week, I would love to sell you a bridge in Arizona on beachfront property for a song. Anyone who knows Larry God Shumway knows that he means well. He's a nice guy. He tells a great joke. But that dude couldn't even build my childhood swing set without the help of like a dozen angels. So, really, how does anybody think he's gonna build an entire universe, the multiverse, in 6 days? If these guys will believe that, no wonder they believe that a D-list reality TV con man did not sell out their country and steal documents to try to perform a coup. Oh, hang on, let me get that. Go for Jeebsy. Hey, Dad. Can't figure out how to log out of my Hulu profile and into yours, huh? Yeah, I'll be right there, Dad. It's interesting how he can't, figure out streaming apps, but he can build, billions of stars, planets, and life forms in them in less than a week. Sure, guys. Sure.
Welcome back. Let's catch up with Gil Fishman now because it's time for the Hollywood Report. Gil, it's great to see you again.
Thanks, Anchor Cat.
So what's everyone in Tinseltown buzzing about this week?
So much, Anchor Cat, but as always, I have to warn our viewers at home that my reviews contain non-spoilers.
Very thoughtful of you to remind our viewers of that, Gil.
Thanks, Anchor Cat. Well, the first thing I've been hearing a lot about is there's buzz around a new Tarantino film. Everyone I've spoken to says it's looking like one of his very best, and, non-spoiler alert, it contains lots of profanity, violence, and cussing, maybe even the N-word. And if who I spoke to this week wasn't excited about the new Quentin Tarantino film, they were all agog and talking about the new movie directed by Steven Spielberg. And again, non-spoiler alert, it's a film that dives into the inner workings of the American family, and it features a score composed by John Williams. And finally, if my friends here in Hollywood weren't jabbering my ear off about one of those two films, they were absolutely gushing over the new Batman movie. From what I've been told, non-spoiler alert, it'll be the story of a billionaire vigilante crime fighter who dresses in a bat suit and fights criminals with other similarly heavily stylized costumes and personalities.
Wow, sounds like a lot of good stuff is coming soon. Thanks, Gil.
Now this is exciting. It's item SW1911. It's some type of a vintage hairy spaceman. It's an action figure. You can tell by the size because it's an action focused character. Now, usually this goes for $49.99.
Up next, we're taking you out to French Hills, Indiana. There, reporter Darren Barron just got done talking to a member of Christ-like Karens for Kids, and he filed this report for us. Darren,
41-year-old Indiana resident Christina Bidwell is a founding member of the local chapter of Christ-like Karens for Kids, a group that calls itself a grassroots campaign for parental rights funded in large part by billion-dollar grants from conservative think tanks. Christina told me today she calls herself a blessed bitch.
Hashtag blessed bitch. You could probably see it all over my face and hear it in my voice, I bet. Hashtag make a joyful noise, bitch. I just love God and this country so much I can't help but feel like I'm just a truly blessed bitch. Hashtag these colors don't run unless it's to the liquor store to buy beer that isn't Bud Light, bitch. My tramp stamp even says it. Blessed bitch. How could you not feel blessed living in a state that knows how important it is to protect kids from living their authentic lives? Hashtag protect my fragile feelings from trans kids. I feel blessed living in a state that would rather our kids not learn about anything than have to learn things that make them wonder if their grandma and grandpa are racist. Hashtag white feelings matter. Every American is blessed as fuck if you ask me. Hashtag blessed bitch.
Before leaving her, I told Miss Bidwell I'll sign her up for classes that will teach her how hashtags work. From French Hills, Indiana, this is Darren Barron. Back to you in the studio.
We promised you a sneak preview of this weekend's Cock Talk with Brock McGock, and here it is.
Look, all I'm saying is that it was highly irresponsible of her to leave all those babies alone together. Weirdos and pigs and frogs and bears and whatever the hell scootins eat are all consorting together, and that's dangerous. And frankly, it just ain't natural. And I don't care how much you tell me they're just cartoon versions of the same puppets I like already. It freaks me out, man. That's all I'm saying. It freaks me out.
Up next, Congressman Jim Jordan apparently has a voice so, quote, loud and annoying, unquote, that it can drive a person to stab their ears with an ice pick and or to jump off the nearest bridge. Reporter Skip Tamalu has more details for us. Skip.
That's right, AC. According to Dr. Benson Hordedu of the International Order of Research and Stuff, Congressman Jordan's voice poses quite a danger to anyone whose IQ is higher than their shoe size.
Congressman Jordan's voice is undeniably loud, and it is certainly annoying. But until we did this study, we had no idea that it was so shrill and so horrific, really, that it could drive someone to cause themselves enormous physical pain or even death.
I asked Dr. Hordedu if he thought his team could figure out why Congressman Jordan shouts so much to begin with. He said they developed a theory.
When we looked at the sound waves we analyzed, we determined that Mr. Jordan probably feels he simply must shout so loudly because sound does not travel well from inside Donald Trump's pee-pee hole or rectum.
Dr. Hordedu recommended that people watching Jim Jordan in a congressional hearing turn down the volume on their TVs when he's speaking to protect their hearing, and to never smoke crack or hit themselves on the head with a cinder block to protect their brain from ever working like Jim Jordan's brain. Back to you, AC.
We'll pause right here for a commercial break, but don't go away. There's lots more news to tell you about.
Johnny, do you know what I love most about Intertwined Pines Fine Wine and Dine?
You mean other than their enormous selection of over 3 local New Hampshire vineyards' unsold leftover stock?
Other than that.
Other than open half-drunk, half-price tall boys of domestic beer?
Other than that, even.
What is it?
It's when all their wines go on sale for 69 cents 3 times a year.
Oh yeah!
69 times at Intertwined Pines. Fine Wine and Dine.
Come on, let's go wine shopping. The first 69 bottles are on me. Fine Wines and Dines, located in Intertwined Pines, Montana's largest shopping mall and bowling alley.
Hey, you fucking nerds! Let's do some drugs!
But I heard drugs aren't good.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
Ha ha! Sure, other nerds told you that, but I am telling you to do some drugs, you fucking nerds!
I'm sure everyone out there remembers my pro-drug PSA I did in the early 90s, but I'm older, wiser now, as evidenced by my fantastic British accent. And when I look at those commercials now, I cringe. Because what was I thinking? Wearing those clothes? I look like such a nerd. I bet people didn't even think I did drugs back then. And I definitely did drugs. So, let this be a warning to all of you kids out there. Be careful what you wear when you're doing drugs. And don't let anyone, and I mean anyone, take your picture while you're doing them, so you never look back and cringe at what you were wearing. Don't be like me.
Unsure if your president is actually a king who's above the law and can do whatever the fuck they want? We'll show you how to check their party affiliation and skin tone to know for sure at 11.
The CDC is warning Americans that exposure to Breitbart articles is hazardous to your health and your brain cells. According to new research published by the CDC, it appears that reading a Breitbart article is exactly the same as getting eye cancer. The study also shows that a typical Breitbart article contains more bullshit than a dairy farm. The CDC advises all Americans to avoid Breitbart articles like they'd avoid someone vomiting AIDS blood into their mouths. Next, congressional aides and cleaning crews are saying that at this time they might have to reschedule several hearings while one of the rooms used for such meetings is heavily fumigated. Reportedly, during a recent hearing of the House Oversight Committee, Marjorie Taylor Greene farted so much that it caused several staffers to pass out when they entered the room this morning to prepare it for the day's activities. We have video of Ms. Greene's farting. Billy, run that clip.
Spitalnik. Miss Spitalnik, while you were talking about white supremacists and abortion, I totally agree with you. There's a lot of white supremacists in the abortion movement and abortionists because they have murdered over.
Staying on the DC equine beat, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene apologized in a rare statement of contrition today. Apparently, Ms. Greene lost track of where she was yesterday and attempted to turn a congressional hearing into a circle jerk, and that's why she showed everyone pictures of Hunter Biden's dick. While Jim Jordan, James Comer, Hank Stubbe, and Thomas Massey all did participate in a circle jerk while looking at the pictures, Greene said she was, quote, terribly sorry, unquote, and that she thought she had walked into a Freedom Caucus weekly rub and tug session, and not an oversight committee hearing. In our next story, singer Billy Joel said in a recent interview that he wrote his iconic pop song, Only the Good Die Young, about a certain United States senator. He did not reveal who it was, however. In a probably unrelated story, Senator Mitch McConnell turns 82 years old next year, and Senator Chuck Grassley will celebrate his 90th birthday in a few weeks. Let's take a break and be back with more news in just a minute.
Hey, what's this I hear that you don't want to go to Chuck E. Cheese now? Your mom tells me? 30 minutes ago you said you didn't want to go to Chuck E. Cheese because I didn't have a hairpiece. So I rushed out, I bought a hairpiece. I put it on, I come home, I show it to you, you run off upstairs crying, and now your mom comes down and tells me that you don't want to go to Chuck E. Cheese because of this hairpiece. Make up your damn mind, Jilly.
Dad's unconvincing hairpiece. Only on Real TV.
Why are you... You don't get to cry. Why are you crying? I'm the one that doesn't get to go to Chuck E. Cheese for your birthday anymore, and you know how much I love skee ball, Jilly. And the ball pit. Wow. 9 years old and already so self-centered. You know what? I'm gonna go talk to your mom about that.
Yesterday in the House of Representatives, a congressman with a 5 head and a penchant for prom dates teamed up with a Congress pony with a sub-5 IQ and a secret space laser to introduce a resolution that, if adopted, would declare Donald Trump did not participate in an insurrection. We have now a short clip of the press conference they held announcing their resolution.
And then the American people who pay for elections with their tax dollars actually own the elections and have the right to care about their elections, election integrity, and the results of their elections. When they came to Washington and protested, all of you called it an insurrection. And then when Joe Biden was inaugurated and this entire Capitol complex was surrounded with 30,000 National Guard troops, none of you stood there and called that an insurrection.
In the market for a space laser? Want to keep that space laser secret, but are afraid you can't even get a secret space laser because you're not Jewish? You're in luck. At Jethro's Tiki Torch and Space Laser Emporium, we have a massive space laser inventory. And we have a secret space laser for you, no matter what your religion is. Come in today and get either a set of Mormon holy underwear, or a super big Catholic priest hat, or a copy of the new King Trump Bible with every space laser purchase.
Glory be, hallelujah, and praise his name. I am the Reverend Bill Millen, and I am a televangelist for Trump. Also for Christ, but mostly for Trump. And I think it's vital that every Christian in America today not watch porn. And if you do watch porn, stop it, guys. Because the thing is, you don't need to watch porn when you can just turn on a congressional hearing and watch Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene hold up some revenge porn. If you get good at pausing it, you'll have plenty of material to spank it to. Also, if you happen to find horses attractive, you'll have even more material if you pause it on Marjorie's face.
Tonight on Watch, we've got the peer-reviewed, conclusive evidence that seeing Hunter Biden's dick pics won't sway anyone's vote unless their IQ is lower than the number of teeth they have, but also higher than the number of cousins they've slept with. You won't want to miss it. You've probably seen it in comment sections all over social media. And if you, like us, have wondered where it comes from and what it means, then tune in to tomorrow night's 7 o'clock broadcast, because we're talking to the man who came up with the left can't meme, and why he thought it was necessary to have a new code phrase for, I have a tiny penis, but can I still join your secret gay Republican orgy anyway? When Let's Go Brandon was still being widely used as well. You'll definitely want to catch that interview. And that's all the time we have for this broadcast. So from all of us at KPBC News, this is Anchor Cat wishing you a good day, but selfishly, a day not as good as the one I intend to have. Goodbye, everyone.